Right, guys, welcome back to Coach's Corner, the show where we turn your data into a better and lower scores. I'm Łukasz Nowatkowski, and today will be your host with my friend Patric.
Thank you,
Patric, tell a
Łukasz.
little about you.
I'm the co-host with Łukasz, and today we have our friend Kricken Hardin, Kricken, with us, and he's gonna, together with us, talk about gapping on the golf course. And so please welcome Kricken to the podcast, and please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you very much, guys. My name is Kricken Hardin, and I've been a club professional now for I think it's 29 years. And at the moment, I'm hosting my own studio here in south part of Sweden. And before that, I was working at the Barsebäck Golf and Country Club. And I also have a few years as a professional golf player few years on the European Tour. And before that, an amateur career, which I was the first Swede and the only Swede to win the British Amateur, which made me allowed to play on the US Masters and British Open and a couple other really good golf tournaments.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about how was it to play Augusta?
Yeah, well, it was a great experience. I can promise you. I was really nervous. Obviously, I've been in Sweden for 6 months before I tee up on the first tee at Augusta. I'm playing with Tom Watson at the moment, one of the best players in the world. And I can assure you that the greens was quicker than putting on a pool table. So it was really scary to play. But it's a good experience, and it's playing like in heaven.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. The question will always be: if an amateur plays Augusta, will they break 100?
I promise you, the funny thing is that I knew the golf course was tough. I knew the golf course greens were tough, but to putt on that type of surface when the greens are so slick that if you misjudge the putt for 1%, is you ending up to have a like 3 or 4 or 5 meters putt back again to try to save par. So everything is in perfect shape, but it's very difficult if you don't play regular on that type of surface. So I don't think the amateur will break 100. The scratch player, absolutely, but if you take a 10 handicapper or 15 handicapper, they won't break 100. No chance.
Oh, wow. No, we had a previous guest, Anders Forsbrand, which is a friend of ours. He told me earlier that if you're not inside like 4 or 5 meters from the flag, there's no chance on some greens to even 2 putts.
No, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
And he knows. I mean, he's a top 10 and master. And he's a great player, and his putting skill is absolutely amazing. So it's tough. Yeah. It's really tough.
Yeah. All right, cool. Welcome to the show, Kricken.
Thank you very much.
Łukasz, do you want to start as an amateur golfer and talk about the
of course. Then I'm a little afraid that you want to ask me about my putting, but it is maybe not a good idea to get this topic here and place those informations all over the world. But of course, our today's topic is really hard because we want to talk about your gapping sucks, and sometimes how to fix it with data, right? And this is quite interesting thing because this is really title is really strong, but in my opinion is true because most amateurs are trying to obsessed with their driver. I'm not used to use the driver guy, but most of amateurs doing this. and they really talk about the scoring zone a little. And is it true that the most loses and lose more stroke from the golfers are takes from the poor distance from 30 to 120 yards, and this is the most important part of the game? You think it is true a little?
Yeah, I would say that if you look into the amateur side of golf, it's much better to hit a full shot compared to a half swing or whatever. So most amateur golfer would gain strokes on hitting a full shot into the green, let's say from 100 meters instead of hitting it from 50 meters. I'm pretty sure about the percentage hitting the greens from 100 meters is higher than hit the green from actually 50 meters, because it takes a lot of more technique and practice from 50 meters than a full swing takes. What do you think, Kricken?
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think, except for the technique, I think the way amateur playing the golf, most of the players trying to hit the ball towards the target, the flag, instead of just try to reach the green. So if most of the players, amateur, would aim for the center of the green with a club that suits you for the distance, I'm pretty sure that they will score a lot better than they do. Because if you play the ball towards a flag, which are on the right side or left side, short or long, and you're missing the green, you're going to ending up with a chip and 2-putt, or maybe chip 2-putt, or maybe chip 3-putt, and you're losing a lot of strokes with that kind of area. And so I totally agree that if you hit a full shot, you will probably reach the green, and if you're aiming towards the center of the green, you will ending up have less shots on the scorecard.
Yeah. So
Because
from that perspective, is there any way that the amateur player can practice on these type of shots in a way?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so most of the amateur, they don't practice in a proper way. No. They hit balls. They try to hit the ball as good as possible, but they don't know what to practice on. So if you take, for example, if you want to be a good golf player, really good golf player, you have 4 areas where you need to be good. You need to hit a good solid tee shot to find the fairway. It don't have to be long. It's good if it's long, but it's better to be on the fairway. You need to have an approach shot that's ending up on the green. But if it's not ending up on the green, you need to be really good and skilled with your wedges around the green. And then the putter. So for example, if you play with a good amateur, they will have like 8, 10 shots within that kind of area from 30 meters to 120 meters. And if you compare towards the professional, they will ending up and losing like 3 to 6 shots on that type of shots. And I mean, if they lose that many shots on that type of area, you can imagine how much they're losing on the green and from the tee.
Yeah.
So that's why it's cool.
You are talking about so simple games sometimes. Yeah, it only hit fairway and goes forward, right? But this is the most important, because then you are staying at the green around 100 meters or 120 yards and trying to fix which one a club you should choose, right? Because your distance, sometimes you think it is in the middle of 2 different clubs.
Yeah. In my view, I would do like this. I would point the club to make my favorite club. Like, for example, if I take a pitching wedge or a sand wedge, 56 degrees or 54, and I would start practice those 2 clubs, and use a TrackMan or some device to figure it out. How far do I carry this club? So when I find out my distance with a certain club, with a regular shot, not try to hit it hard or soft or anything, just keep hitting it. And then I write it down, So I have my distance on that particular club. And then I do the next one and the next one. So for example, I'm using 4 wedges. So I have the 60 degrees, 54, 50, and a pitching iron. So I know exactly my distance with those clubs with a full shot. Well, it's not the full 100%, it's like 85, 90%.
Yeah.
So I know exactly how far those clubs is carrying. But I don't
Yeah, but
have more
sometimes
time.
if you are in between, what's then? Chunk it out, deaccelerate, or what you propose?
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, because full swing around 100 meters, right? With the maybe some
Yeah.
gap wedge.
Yeah.
But of course I get to the pin 120 or even
Yeah.
80, right? Then the full swing is too much.
Yeah.
In one way and too less in second way, right?
I'm right
And
between
then
clubs,
what
you
I
mean.
should do, yeah,
Yeah.
what I should do, because have no club, I only think I should deaccelerate a little or maybe chunk it.
Chunk down. I will grip down on the grip.
Okay.
And try to hit a little bit softer. I don't want to hit the full shot on the wedges because the ball is going just up in the air. It's better to hit it a little bit forward. I mean, to have a shaft lean into the ball so I can get more ball club contact, so I can get the distance correctly. Because if some of the golf players, they try to hit the wedges way too hard, so it's just ending up hit the ball straight up in the air and they're losing the distance.
All right. Yeah, but I think it is true, because even if I've wrote and read something over the internet, then I found the statistics that almost 50% of amateur golfers did not hit the green the first time. That is the reason.
Yeah, and probably, so you will see on that statistics, you will see like it's 85 or maybe 90% of the shots is short of the green. So you're ending up hitting most of the traps in front of the green, like bunker, water, whatever. And so what I said in the earlier, I said that if you place the pin position in the corners, short right or short left or just short, all the problems are short of the green. So you're ending up in the bunker, on the rough, or in the water. So it costs a lot of shots on the scorecard. So it's better to use a club that you can ending up in the middle of the green. So if, for example, if I have a 90 meters to the pin, and the pin is short, like 5-6 meters into the green, I will use a club that can, maybe I hit it a really good, solid, it will go 100 meters. Then if I do that, I'm in the middle of the green, and I can put back towards the pin. But if I hit a little bit thin or maybe a little bit fat, it's ending up like 5-6 meters shorter, I will be straight at the pin.
Yeah, it is simple. I know. Last time we discussed with Tom about the mentality in your head, how to say in someone inside player's head that it is the correct way, because you've always see the pin, right? And the pin told you can do this, man.
Correctly. Yeah, that's right. That's what's so fascinating with this game. But if you're really smart, if you play the smart way, and some of the golf players are really smart, they play the ball with a certain club that suits this type of shots, and they play with percentage. So if I have a shot again to the pin, and there's 90 meters to the pin, and the pin is far back on the green, it's like 5 meters short of the back edge, and behind there is a slope or a bunk or something like that, I wouldn't hit the ball with the club that goes 90. I will hit with the club that goes shorter. But if I hit it really well, I maybe hit it 85 meters. I'm 5 meters short of the pin. That's okay, because I'm on the green, instead of trying to hit this 100% the shot every time. Because the game of golf is a game. It's not. I mean, you need to have a good mental thinking when you play golf.
Yeah, for sure. But if you look into as a player, how did you, when you played on the tour as an amateur and then on the European tour later on, how did you set up your set to have the correct distances? If you look into like an amateur, we can see that somewhere in between 5, 6, maybe 7 irons sometimes you start losing the control of the gapping. It could instead of being 10 to 15 meters in between the clubs, you might have 20, 25 meters in between the clubs. What should you do as an amateur? How should you think? Is it
Take a lesson.
Yeah, for sure.
Take a lesson. I would say that it's perfect now when you have the machines that can measure the distance. I mean, you can have it on the phone and I mean, watch it like this equipment. You can use it. You can practice, and if you need some help, you can go to a professional and they have bending the club. You can adjust the loft on the club. Sometimes you can use just the lie on the club, and the performance of the club will suit you more instead of if it's upright, the heel is touching the ground and closing the club face, and everything goes left. And you know, if you hit it a little bit left, it goes further instead of hitting on the toe and a little bit flat.
Yeah.
So I think it's the best thing to do is take a lesson.
Yeah, exactly.
But sometimes to find
maybe not all the amateurs knows about this, but at least you and I know that it should be about 5 miles an hour on the ball speed difference between each club. And that could be a really good check for everybody to see where it starts lacking ball speed between some iron.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That could be one of the checkpoints, for instance. And also you need to look into the trajectory, the height of the shot and everything, so it follows the same trajectory all the time. And when you start losing height, it might be the wrong club for you then.
Perfect. And I mean, if I go back to one thing that you said, which is so important, that's the impact. To know that you're hitting the sweet spot instead of in the heel sometimes and toe sometimes. I mean, you can ending up like 10 meters difference on the same swing, but you hit one of them on the toe and one of them in the heel.
Yeah, it's a huge difference. For sure, and the longer the club gets, the harder to hit it in the sweet spots.
It is, I know.
First, you need to know what is the sweet spot is, right? Because the beginners did not figure out even yet they are hitting in the sweet spot, right? Toe or heel.
With that. Absolutely, I know.
And how we should feel it, right?
Yeah. You need to practice that. Actually, it's very, very important. And it can use like, there is some small, like a tape you can place on the club face. You can have spray that you spray in the club, and then you hit the shot, and then you look at the impact where it is, and you feel it, you hear it. It's so important. And I promise you, if you stand on the driving range and watch the amateur practice, I hardly see anyone doing that. No. But it's so important.
Yeah, but if sometimes the player wants to see but don't see, right? How you should show him the gapping sucks, if I may to say that, right? How he should gives the advice from his teacher to his coach, then he is gapping.
You need measurement. You need to measure the shots so the student, the golfer, understands what's happening. Because some players, including myself, when I hit, I can get a feeling that I hit a really good one, and then I hit another one, and it's like 3 or 4 meters difference. And I promise you, I can't feel that the difference, but it's 4 meters difference. So I have to look at the numbers, and I can see that the smash factor on one is like 139, and on the other one is 137. So I understand that, okay, even if it felt like it was a good swing and a good hit, I can see then later on that my impact was a little bit towards the heel on the one, and the other one was in the center.
But could you
Łukasz?
explain to audience what is the smash factor more? Because sometimes people are saying that the smash factor is not so important.
Well, it's numbers that you can show for the student. If you have a certain club speed and it compares to the ball speed, so you know how much energy you put into the ball. I mean, it's for me, it's quite, actually I use it when I have lessons to show my pupil what was happening. I can see on the screen, I can see then on the screen that the impacts are on the heel, but my student didn't feel that. It feels like the sound was correct and the feel was correct. But sometimes if you take the old clubs, the center of gravity is slightly inside what you think is the center of the club. But the new clubs have another way of weighting the club head. So the center of gravity is more towards the center. So that's why you need to make sure that the student understands where the impact, where the sweet spots are on a certain club.
Łukasz, I can't hear you at all, so you know. It's totally quiet when you speak.
Okay. Okay. I will try maybe to speak louder. Because now it should be okay. I see my indicators showing me that I'm really talk loudly. I don't know if Kricken, you have the same problem with my voice.
No, I hear it clearly. Perfect. Perfect.
I don't hear anything from Łukasz, but I hear from Kricken.
Okay.
I can hear both of you. I can translate.
That's good.
That's good. I think the video is correctly recording. Then we will cut everything with our talks. Then I've put my something for cutting ID where we are now. Okay, then if we are talking about the smash factor, guys, then sometimes I understand the smash factor. The central gravity is different on the old and new clubs. And the people should know where is the heel, toe, and everything else there, because all the time people thinking that this shot was okay, but of course goes left and right. And if we going over the YouTube channels, right, and everybody try to fix your slice, your slice, and doing some beautiful drills for everybody the same, but in your opinion, everyone from us is different, right? And there is no universal thing.
I mean, when I have a lesson, I really need to understand my student, how this works, the skills and the strength and the flexibility and stuff like that. So otherwise I can't make the same adjustment for all of them. In my opinion, the grip is very important for me. For me, as a professional, when I teach my students, for me, the grip is really important. And some of the professionals out there on the YouTube and other golf professionals, it's not that important. But for me, it is. So that's why I'm starting with the grip, to make sure that you can swing the golf club and make sure that you have control on the club head and the face. Otherwise, you try to maneuver the hands too much. And if you do that, you up to a great shot is great, but a bad shot is really bad.
Yeah. Maybe that's the reason, Patric, that I need to switch my grips to another. Or maybe check my hands on the club, who knows. But we see some professional players playing with grips as well, right? A lot. Now, it's something like a modern golf today.
You mean that's the different grip or what?
Yeah, different grips. That's right. Yeah, like a DeChambeau.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, that's also really funny because most of us professional and golfers, we compare ourselves with the professionals, but they like 25 to 35 years old and they're really good. And I mean, they like Ferraris, they like some Formula One machines, and most of us are not. But we try to, and we're watching them when they swing in the golf club. And I mean, I can, if I sit and watching this on YouTube, I can see hundreds of professionals that the professionals, they show that the professionals doing this and with the bow, everything like that. But then you have the student, you can't do that.
Okay, guys, I'm taking the moment for commercials. I want to take a moment to talk about the tools that make this podcast and the data analysis you hear every week possible. We spend so much time on the PXE is the fastest, most effective way to connect with your coach. You can film your swing right inside the app, get instant feedback, and even chat with your coach about a specific shot you just hit, all in real time over the internet. It's how to get the professional analysis and advice from anywhere in the world right when you need it. And for the professional coaches out there, their PXC, the Player Experience Coach. We know you are passionate about golf, but you need to grow your business and make a living from your experience. PXC is the platform that helps you to do that. It allows you to manage students from all over the world, analyze their data and video remotely, and show them exactly what they need to work on. You can share drills, provide feedback, and communicate seamlessly with all your players, turning your knowledge into a scalable business. You can make more money by helping more players and while providing a higher level of service. Wherever you are a player looking for a competitive edge or a coach ready to modernize your business, the WatchitGolf app are the future of golf instruction. And for now, they are exclusively available for iOS users. Of course, Android coming soon. So if you're an iPhone or iPad user, head over the App Store and download WatchitGolf PXE and WatchitGolf PXE to start your data-driven journey to bear golf and bear coaching businesses. On the screen, you see the link where you can register as a coach in WatchitGolf Academy, and QR code provide you the link to our application you can download and get your golf performance possibility bear. Take care and have a nice day. See ya.
No.
I mean, most of my students is like, from 4-5 handicap up to 25-30 handicap. And I need to make it as simple as possible to understand how this person can swing the golf club on the easiest way to find the ball and make sure that the ball travels towards my target. So I can't try to get them swinging like a professional. It's impossible.
No. And I mean, when it comes to everything, it's always goes back to the fundamentals. Like
for me, it is, yeah.
The grip, the posture, the setup, and everything.
Yeah.
Because if you look at our own games, it always starts with that you have widened your stance or you have changed a little bit on the grip, and the posture has changed also. And once you go back to the fundamentals again, the game starts to come back.
Yeah.
Most of the times, anyway.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah, but all the time I have the problem with gapping. That's my thing, because most of you are trying to play even all the time thinking about the distance at the end, right? Especially the last shot, and almost you every time lost the probability of birdie, right? Because you think too much, then you should hit the pin, as we discussed, not the center of the green. But the most important for me, maybe, if I even want to hit the center of the green, my dispersion of the clubs. Each club is different, right? And sometimes could be even 5, 7, 10 meters. Who knows?
Yeah. But it's really
And
funny you saying that. It's really funny. Sorry, I'm interrupt there. But the thing is that if you have a dispersion of a certain club, okay, so you hit like, if you hit a bad shot to the right, it's like 6, 7, 8 meters to the right, and they're doing the same thing to the left. Okay,
Yeah.
so you have like 12, 15 meters dispersion between right and left. So if you play this shot towards a left pin position, okay, so all the balls who's left will be way left.
Yeah.
Okay, but if you move in this dispersion, so you try to hit the center of the green, and you'd have the same dispersion, some of the balls will be right at the green. They will be right corner, but some of the balls which you're missing will be with the pin, and the ones you're hitting really good, they will be, like 5, 6 meters to the right of the pin. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, but for sure in that case, as a player, you should know your dispersion, right? You should be not a worry about distance, but a worry about where is the most shots are going, right?
Correctly, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, 100%. but sometimes if you are hurry or something, you're thinking about the lower score, trying to write everything, you forget because you want to hit and be the best, right?
Absolutely.
As a man, as a golfer, it doesn't matter.
but there is a certain distance where you can think like that. Okay, for the best players in the world, it's like 120, 130, maybe 140, say something like that, 130 meters. They go for the pin because they know that the dispersion is not more, if they're pushing a little bit or fading a little bit too much, it's like 2 or 3 meters to the right of pin. And the same thing if they're drawing the ball a little bit. So from 130 meters into the pin, they will go for the pin. But on the other hand, if they have like 180 meters to the pin, they would go for the center of the green and try to fade towards the pin on the right, and they would try to draw to the pin to the left. But they will make sure that if they miss the shot, they will be in the center of the green.
Yeah, but first, of course, amateur players should know what is the fade and draw, right?
They don't need know that. They don't know, because if they try to hit the straight shot into the green, they will lose some shots to the right and they will lose some shots to the left. So if they continue to play the ball towards the center of the green until they come to a certain distance where they know that they can go for the pin, it can be 30 meters from the green. It could be that. It could be 40 as well. So because most of the golf players, they will lose the ball with the longer clubs. They will lose it to the right. They will slice the driver. They will fading the 5-iron and so on. And with the shorter clubs, they will probably hitting it to the left. Because if you come over the top a little bit and the hands is a little bit too active, they will play the ball with the shorter irons to the left. But with a longer club, they will losing it to the right. So that's why if you come to a certain distance, for example, 30 meters, and you know you're really skilled with this wedge, you know that you're so comfortable with this wedge, you go for the pin. But if you're like 110 meters from the pin, you're not sure that you can be so accurate, so you can go for the pin. So in that case, you're aiming towards a tree behind the green, like 5 meters to the left of the pin. So if you're losing the shot a little bit to the right, it's ending up by the pin. And if you hit a straight perfect shot, you're like 5 meters to the left of the pin. But if you're pulling it a little bit, you're like 5 meters to 10 meters to the left of the pin, but you're still on the green. And it's easier to two-putt from 10 meters, most of the amateur, than playing a shot from bunker or by the green side in a rough or stuff like that.
Uh-huh. Okay, but first, of course, you need to practice to know about this, right?
That's a good
Because
idea.
without practice without practice
That's
you
a
know
good idea.
nothing, right, about your shots. And this is the main thing.
That's
And
a really
sometimes
good idea.
average player say, oh, thank you. I'm trying and learning a lot with you guys. But
You
the
know
most
something?
Mhm.
You know something? There is a thing that's, if you start practicing, you will become a good player. I promise you. But most golfers,
Oh, wow.
most golfer, they practicing hitting balls. So they're standing, they
Yeah.
take like a bucket of balls, like 50 balls, ending up, and they start hitting. So the first shot they hit, they're hitting like a performance ball. So they try to hit it towards a red flag on the driving range. But if they miss the ball to the right, what will they do with the next ball? They will try to hit it more left. So they try to do adjustment because of the ball, the first ball goes to right. My brain says, I need to hit this more left. But this is not the way you play golf. You don't do that on a golf course, because the shot you have in front of you is the most important shot on the whole day, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because
totally
this
agree,
ball
yeah.
is the one you're going to hit towards your target. So the way you're practicing, you're standing there, oh, it goes to left, I try to hit a little bit more left, and then you hit it more left, and you try to hit a little more right. So you always be one behind to compensate the next shot.
Yeah.
That's not good. So you should practicing golf.
Yeah, same spot all the time, thinking about the same targets, right?
Yeah, try to practice the way you want to play golf on the golf course. You hit one driver, you can practice technique, so you can hit like 5-6 drives, but every single drive you move away, you look at the target, you can change target, hit to the red flag, yellow flag, blue flag, and stuff like that. Then you change club, and then you can hit some wedges, and then you can hit some 7-irons, but all the time, as much as you can, change target.
Mm-hmm. But in distance or in right
Not
and left?
necessarily, yeah, most direction, because
Direction, okay.
you know.
Okay, but you think okay, if we are talking about the gapping between clubs mostly, right?
Yeah.
You've got a lot of clubs in your bag, mostly gap wedge, lob wedge, pitching wedge, and etc. And sometimes you know your distance, right? And you told us that okay, you should always think about the full swing, or almost 95% of the swing, and take the grip lower and swing the same with the same speed. Not de-accelerate your swing, right? Because it sometimes be a duff most cases. But this is the strategy. You think it is most strategy for all golfers? It will work?
Yeah, I promise you that I've been professional for 30 years, and when I try to convince my students that starting out with a favorite club. I have a really good friend, of Anders Forsberg as well. His name is Michael Högberg. He really good Swedish golf player back in the 90s, really good. He hits all his short shots with his pitching wedge, including shots over a bunker, like a little bit of a lob wedge. He's using his pitching wedge because he knows exactly what to do with that club. Like Seve Ballesteros when he was the best golf player in the world, he used the 56 degrees. He didn't use the lob wedge. He used the 56 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's like you're using a wizard stick. You love this club so much that you know exactly what's going to happen. And when you've done that, you can add a new one into the game. So if you start with one, if it is a pitching wedge or a 52 or 54 or a 56, it doesn't matter. You're starting with one, and then you figure it out. How far can I hit this with control? And when I've done that, I'm choking down a little bit on the grip, a little bit further down, and I can use half a swing. Like, for example, if I'm using the clock.
Yeah.
So then I have two distance with a certain club, and then I practice, have two distance, and then I take another club, and I'm doing exactly the same thing with that. But it's very important that you don't try to hit this full 100% shots, 100% speed, because with the wedges, the ball is just going upwards.
Yeah. But in that cases, okay, I need to I want to say that in the worst case, if someone choose the putter is the big issue, right? If the favorite club is the putter, and starting to hit from the bunker, but it seems to be I know that guys and someone trying to do that, but of course if we are using clock, right? Sometimes on the golf course is really hard to understand. Where's your 9? Where's your 10:30, 11? Right?
I'm totally
because this is difficult.
Yeah, for me, my son is actually playing on. He's a professional now, and he played his first whole season in the Nordic League. When he went to the state for 4 years in Texas, so he developed this clock system. So I think he has 12 shots with his wedges. So it's like hips height, rib cage, shoulder height, and then he's doing that with 4 wedges. Yeah. And then when I'm doing this really good, he had 3 flights: low flight, mid flight, and high flight. But for me, that's like playing NASA golf. It's way too complicated. Yeah. So when I play golf, I'm playing hockey as a young kid. Okay, so if you're doing a slap shot in hockey, you're just watching where you want the puck enter the net. Don't I? I can see the goalie, but I want to hit the net. So for me, when I'm standing with a pitching, when I have a pro shot, for me it's like I'm trying to swing the golf club to a certain distance in my follow through. So if I take my 54 degrees wedge and I want to hit that 75 meters, okay? So I take my swing back, but I try to stop my swing at the same level as my left shoulder. That's a 75-meter shot. But if I hit it a full wedge with 54, I can hit it 100 meters. So that's the only 2 distance I have with my 54. 75.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that the broke your system, right? Because only one wedge to distance, half a full swing, right?
Yeah,
and nothing else. Maybe exactly. People should understand in that way and trying to find a way. But of course, try to figure out by themselves is really hard, right? Sometimes
it is
to figure out this.
It's very difficult because the players, most of us, is so emotional. So if we try to practice on this type of skills exercise, and we don't hit the ball well, or we don't hit it the way we want it, we start thinking about the technique. Okay, so when we start thinking about the technique, we start thinking about the swing and the hand position and stuff like that. And then we forget the target. So now we don't figure it out how to practice.
And someone came to you and said, now you should think about tempo.
Yeah, exactly.
And the word is broken, right? and this is the funny thing, because everything goes with distance at the end. If you are too fast, if you are too slow, if you deaccelerate, if you're trying to be like a clock or using some different clubs, there is a lot of things when you have to think about this during the game.
Yeah.
And of course, scores at the end. Even last time we discussed, Patric, remember about the set the mindset, right? About at the beginning, I need to hit only one birdie during the round, and it give the confidence if you done this right during the round. And maybe this is some, I don't know, magic solution in that way or not. What do you think? Because the tempo it sometimes kill most of the players, right? They do not understand trying to count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or maybe different. And this is really, believe me, this is not a simple way to understand sometimes, especially if we are too fast. And of course, the Patric always will say me that, yeah, first, Łukasz, you should learn how to listen.
Yeah, that's a good start. That's a good start. But I totally agree with that. I think also is the rhythm of a golf swing is so important. And for me, rhythm is like when tempo and balance is matching. So you can swing really fast, but you have good balance, you get good rhythm. You swing slow and you have terrible balance, you have no rhythm. So rhythm is when the tempo and balance is matching. So you get the good feeling that everything is connecting. So I remember when I was watching most of the golf on TV, it was Nick Price. He was such a good golf player, but his speed when he was swinging was really fast. But it was so solid, so it looked so nice when he done that. And then then you saw Hörnsten, a big fellow swinging. It looks like he's swinging so slowly, but obviously his club swing was up there with Tiger Woods and other guys. But the tempo and the rhythm was so good when he was swinging the golf club.
Yeah. Look at Freddie Couples and all the guys. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
They are so slow, right? Or not?
No, they're not slow. That's the funny thing, that if you look at there is if you count the frames, so they are not slow. It's just that they're moving the body is in such a perfect way, so it looks like it's swinging slow, but they have a tremendous speed in the club head.
Yeah, but it's quite interesting. Then sometimes you look like a turtle, but the club head seems to speedy like a rabbit, right? And sometimes you have even more than 100 miles per second per hour with the club head speed, but you are move so slow sometimes. But your body rotation, because it is the different angle, right, of your body, and the rotation is really fast, and you do not see it even with your eyes. Correct. If you are looking at. But it should help of course the tempo and the rhythm helping with control distance most, right? Because without this you cannot control. You should have all the time the same rhythm, right?
I agree with that. That's what I tried to do. I mean, it's easier for me to swing like an 8-iron or 9. It's easier to swing. My feeling is that I swing a little bit slower because it's an easy club. But when I swing the driver in that kind of tempo, I'm hitting the ball more in the sweet spot than when I'm trying to hit this as hard as I can. Because most of the players for like 10, 15 years past have always talking about the club speed and the ball speed. So everyone is trying to hit as hard as possible, so you can hit as long as drive you can. But most of the guys they don't have the balance to hit the ball in the sweet spot. So if you're not hitting it in the sweet spot, you're ending up with balls that's going to slice and hook, and you will not be in the fairway. You're just going to reload, and you have one more penalty. So for me, if you play golf and you're smart, you're starting out with have a good solid fundamentals, like Patric said, and you're working with your impact. So the club can have the best possibility to hit the ball in the sweet spot.
Okay.
I think that's.
But,
it's
Yeah, I totally agree on it, because as you say, we do on the short game, we never hit the full swing, like from 80 meters. We might do the same swing on same thing on the full swings from 108 meters, just changing the club and swing a little bit slower, and
correctly.
it might catch the ball better that way, instead of hitting it in 110% of speed all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah, but in most cases, average players, working with the full speed mostly, right?
Mostly,
and they are trying to hit as far as possible, as fast as possible with the club, because they think that the distance was measured correctly.
Yeah.
Because maybe 2 balls on the driving range goes on 160 with iron 7, right? But that were only 2 balls, and you think how much balls you should hit before the golf session on the driving range.
It depends.
If you are, sorry, yeah. If you are even trying to start, if you're trying to start your journey with tournament.
I'm not sure I understand this question correctly, but my opinion is that when you practice on practicing, you should always practice on the correct way, because if you're on the golf course and you on your way out on the golf course to play with your friends, you're standing on the driving range, you shouldn't practice on the driving range before the play. You should just warm up. Make sure that you have the fundamentals on the play, and then using the feet together and get in the motion to make sure that the club is swinging correctly and the impact is correct. You don't have to practice on anything. Just make sure that the body is ready for the game of golf. But after you play, you can go up on the driving range and practice technique or skills for like 15, 20, 30 minutes to make sure that when you're leaving the golf course, you know that you're swinging the golf club on the correct way.
Maybe that's the failure, because I want to ask you about what you saw in your pro life. The people made the mistakes in gapping most, right? And maybe that was the terrible thing, if they are trying to practice before round.
Correctly. Yeah. I was one of them. I was before I went out on the tournament, I was standing there on the driving range, hit balls, and it didn't felt quite so good. And then I start thinking about the golf swing instead of just leaving there. Try to hit some putts, chipping, and then go out and play. Try to make a good score, and then practicing afterwards. Because if you start practicing before you play a tournament, The only thing is happening is that you start thinking about the technique. Then you're never gonna play good.
Maybe that's the reason, because even if you see the average players before some tournament, everybody goes with maybe a bucket of balls or 2 buckets of balls before the golf round and hitting a lot, right?
Yeah.
Hitting and thinking they are warm-upping, but of course they are trying to reach the target or check the technique or check the swing. Sometimes it's funny even to watch it at them, but in my mind is almost the same feeling, right? You should practice before, because of course this 5 minutes gives you the confidential. And this is the quite funny thing. But how the people should think about this, right? How it should be done.
I think this the most important thing is that you have a good mindset before you play. My best golf round for the last 20 years is when I was short of the time before I was teeing off. We played this, there was a small tournament here in the south part of Sweden. And I was short of the time. I didn't have time to get up in the driving range. I hit a few putts. Then I took this, I don't know if you know what an orange whip bar. It's a certain warm-up stick. It's this very bendable stuff. Yeah. So I was standing with that for like 5 minutes before I was teeing off. So I was hitting a few from the left and a few from the right, and get the feeling. When you're swinging that, you can't swing too fast. You can't swing too loose. And I step up on the first tee, and then I played 18 holes, and I showed 61, which is 10 under here at the Barsebäck. And after the run, I figured out what happened. And the thing was I was just playing. I didn't think about the way I was doing it. I was just playing, had a good time, and was just playing. So since I didn't have time to go up on the driving range to start thinking about technique and the feeling or whatever, I was just on the golf course and playing. It was a really, really nice feeling.
Yeah, but sometimes people thinking that before the round, if they hit few balls, they will update their distances.
Perfect.
And
I would do that. I mean, I'm just one of them. I mean, I don't have the solution for every golfer. This is the way I think many players would benefit the good round of golf, because I can see so many golf players standing on the driving range, hitting a few shanks or duff or top or whatever, and you can see that the mindset is collapsing, because they get almost scared to go out on the golf course because they don't hit the ball. So that's just a waste of time. It's better to be doing some exercise first instead of just hitting balls. But some players, it's good to take a bucket of balls, like 20, 30 balls, hitting golf, because it's a good feeling. Perfect, do that. But do the same thing all over the time.
Right. Yeah, sometimes I catch even by myself on this, right? Because thinking that I'm the worst player at the world at the driving range, right? And this mindset is going with me on the golf course, and this is not good. This is not good, because at the first tee, it always what's going on, what's happened, maybe left, maybe right, and someone tells you about be careful. There is the water on the right and the bunker on the left, and you're staying like a crazy and saying, "What's going on?" And forget about and maybe the game is sucks. Not only gapping, right?
No,
gapping should be.
Yeah. I don't think you're alone. I think there's many golf players doing the same thing.
Yeah, but the most important is how to help them, right?
Yeah,
do you have some advices?
But I mean, golf is a very difficult game. I mean, it's so many parts that you have to figure it out how to manage. I mean, it's the mental game. You need to have good equipment. You need to be a good putter, short game, approach shot, tee shots. You need to know the rules. There's so many things that you need to figure it out how to manage through 4.5 hours or 5 hours, whatever. So you can, when you step up to the golf ball, you need to be zero. You need to be just there to hit this shot. So if you want to hit the good shot, you need to know how to do it before you do it. You can't standing there on the up towards the ball and then thinking about the bunker or the water, or don't be too fast. Don't you need to have the right elbow there and the hands need to be a certain way. You can't do that because it's too complicated.
But if you are staying and thinking about the war even, right, and you know the distance of each club, Burr is hit shorter or try to be the best with your club sometimes with distance, right? And think about, okay, in most cases, my 100% swing goes further than this war and it will be okay. And in most cases, people are trying to do this, right?
Yeah. I would say one of them I absolutely, which I really convinced of, never try to hit the golf shot with 100% of power. Never. Never do that. Make sure that you're practicing so you can hit the standard stock shots like 85-90%, where you can have a solid, perfect balance so you can get some good rhythm in the swing. So you know that you're going to have ball contact, a good impact. That's much better. So if you're losing like 4 or 5, 6 meters with your iron towards a perfect 100% shot, it's better because your dispersion will be better and your distance, long and short, will be better. I'm 100% sure of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Patrick, continue. Sorry.
Totally agree on that, Kricken. And if you look into Łukasz game, he has a 95 miles an hour club head speed on his pitching wedge, so he needs to slow down.
Oh, yeah. Always the same. Always the same. But I only want to say that this is sometimes hard to believe in it, because after you are trying to learn, or people trying to learn by themselves, and see a lot of people with the speed stick, and why the people trying to be so fast with some external tools. It is in that mind you are talking that it almost I have in my back of my head, then this is stupid a little, right? Trying to be the fastest possible, because fast is not a good idea, because the sweet spot may be missed.
It's good to be fast if you have really good balance, so you know how to move the body towards the ball, so you have a good ball contact. If you take a young kid or a small girl or boy or whatever, and they want to become a really good golf player, they say that I want to be a professional golfer, I want to go to college and stuff like that. They need to hit the ball far, so they need to practice speed. But it's better to do that in the gym with a professional person, because I've seen a lot of players have started practicing speed and then ending up with problem with the back or shoulders or neck, because the body is not ready to start practicing speed. So before you start practicing with speed stick, I would say take contact with the physio to make sure that your body is ready for practicing speed. Especially in my age, if I start practicing speed, I promise you, I'm never going to play golf next summer if I start practicing speed now. Never.
Play golf, but wake up in the morning.
Absolutely. To go to the gym and stretch and make sure that I'm building some muscles and some speed, obviously, but to make me more flexible, so I can rotate and make a bigger turn in the backswing, so I can create power that way, and then using my technique. That's okay. But if I start practicing with speed 6 now, before I go to the gym, I promise you, it's going to take me 2 or 3 weeks, and my back will be really sore.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. I would definitely not do that.
But what about the equipment? Because we even discussed with Patric about this in the past, right? And about lofts, about lie of the club. There is a lot of things how to people should fit, and sometimes it is quite stupid that the fitting guy try to fit 35 handicapper.
In my opinion, the club fitting is so important, in my opinion, because I've seen players coming to me to take a lesson, and I say this is, I'm really sorry, but your lie is terrible. This must be your husband or some friend's club, and you're like 175 centimeters, and this is bent for like 190. So the club faces, the toe is pointed straight up in the air, or the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. And sometimes they comes and they have bought the new driver on the internet, and they have X stiff shaft and 75 grams with the mid-size grip. And I said, this club is not suited for you. I mean, even if it costs you 7,000 Swedish, it's completely wrong drive. The club head is good, but you need, like, instead of 9 degrees, you should have 12 degrees, because you hit it so low. You can't get it airborne. So in my opinion, the club fitting is really, really important. It's like if we go to the Alps and want to ski, would you rent skis that is too long or too short? Would you
for sure not. Yeah, for sure not.
You want to have good stuff so you can ski for a week and have good time.
Yeah, but sometimes, yeah. But you think that even at the beginning of the journey, you should be, fitted, if I may to say that.
If obviously it's very difficult, because if you don't know if you want to start playing golf, you just want to try out, you do that with a friend's club, absolutely. But I say that if you go to the internet and you buy a set of clubs, be prepared that you maybe have to sell it within a couple of months. If you think this is really nice game and you like it, you want to play with your friends and have a good time, you need to have stuff that at least have the correct lie and length.
Yeah, but sometimes you meet the really great experts. Remember, Patric, when we met some guy and talking about the shafts, and we discussing about the bend of the shaft. Remember, in Poland when we met together in Poznań, what the guy are saying about this? About my shafts, and they try to put different shafts on other people's clubs. Remember this?
I don't know if Patric can hear you. Can you hear me?
No,
Patric?
I can hear you.
Okay.
I can't hear you, Lucas.
Sorry.
Lucas asked you about the you have met some guy that you talk about the shaft as a custom fitting. He wants there was some story
in Poland.
About,
in Poland, you said you should add.
Fitting.
Yeah. I mean, as you said, Kricken, the fitting part of the game is very, very important, and the more beginner you are, actually, the more important it is. to have the right setup
Yeah.
and as you say, the right lie and the right length of the club, and most of the time I can see people buying from internet store or whatever. As you say, they buy whatever the cheapest one, but they can see the brand and everything. But the club that comes home in the mailbox is, as you say, might be an extra stiff, 1 inch longer than the standard, and you're 175. Then you have big issues. And as the guy we met in Poland, who was a professional fitter, it was ridiculous. I can assure you how he presented Łukasz a new set of clubs, because there was no fitting, there was nothing. It was just how fast are you swinging the club, and then he was suggesting a set of clubs from his swing speed. So sometimes it's really crazy.
And guys, thank you very much, my guests and co-host Patric. And I always want to say the guest, the Christian Kricken Hardin, like in in boxing place, and me myself, Łukasz Nowatkowski. Thank you very much, and see you next time in next episode.
Thank you very much.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kricken. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Patrick. Have a good time.
Yeah.